program. Now, joining me tonight is a senator who has been on the front lines when it comes to protecting the big three, Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. Senator, great to have you with us on this Friday evening. Thank you.
Good to be with you.
How can we keep Social Security from being offered up in these financial negotiations when you have a president who is on record saying that he is open to change? How do you interpret that? How do you keep him out of the mix?
Well, we have got to make the president and Republicans and any Democrats that want to cut Social Security an offer they can't refuse. And that is tens of millions of people have got to make it very clear to Congress is Social Security has nothing to do with the deficit. What deficit reduction needs right now is to ask the largest corporations in this country who are profitable to a record-breaking degree, one quarter of whom pay no taxes at all. Their effective corporate tax rate is the lowest in many, many years. So what we have got to say is, no, Mr. President, you're not going to cut Social Security, you're not going to cut Medicaid, you're not going to cut Medicare. By the way, Ed, as chairman of the Veterans Committee, let me also point out that the so-called chain CPI will make devastating cuts for disabled veterans, for widows who lost their husbands in Iraq and Afghanistan. No, that is not the way we are going to do deficit reduction.
Are you confident that the president will protect Social Security?
No, I am not confident that the president will protect Social Security. What I am confident in is that every senior organization in this country, including the AARP, the National Committee to Defend Social Security and Medicare, they're going to be fighting with us to protect Social Security. The American Legion, the Disabled American Veterans, all the veterans organizations are going to be there. The AFL-CIO and all the unions will be there. And I think the vast majority of the American people are going to be there. What we are talking about, Ed, and you made this point, we're not talking about financial issues. We're talking about ideology. What the Republicans want to do is destroy the social safety net that has existed in this country since the 1930s. They want to give more tax breaks to people who don't need it and decimate the programs that working families and the middle class desperately depend upon. This is a fight for the soul of America. It is a fight for the soul of the Democratic Party.
The conservative editorial page of the Wall Street Journal thinks the debt ceiling threat is a bluff. They wrote today, you can't take a hostage you aren't prepared to shoot. Do you think Republicans are willing to shoot the hostage in this negotiation? Meaning?
Well, yeah, what I think is that the employers of many of our Republican colleagues, Wall Street and the big money interests, know absolutely that if the United States, for the first time in its history, defaults, does not pay its debt, it could lead to an international financial crisis, which will be bad for Wall Street, which will be bad for big business, and I think they are telling the Republicans not to go down that path.
Speaking of Wall Street, are you willing, and I keep hearing that you're going to offer up a transaction tax that will generate several $1 billion to shore up this Social Security fund. Do you think you'd get support on that?
I think we get support from the American people, and I think more and more folks are looking at that as an option. It would do two things. It would bring in many hundreds of billions of dollars over a 10-year period. It would put a damper on speculation on Wall Street. The other thing that we have to do, Ed, is that right now we are losing $100 billion a year because of big money interests and wealthy individuals stashing their money in tax havens like the Cayman Islands and Bermuda. 1/4 of profitable corporations don't pay a nickel in taxes. There is a lot that we can do to raise substantial revenue, which will not only protect the social safety net, it will allow us to invest in America and start creating the jobs we need.
And that transaction tax, Senator, what are you talking about, a half-cent sales tax on every transaction that's made on Wall Street, or a quarter cent, or what?
Exactly, a quarter.
Okay.
It depends.
Right.
We could do it in a number.
Sure.
It is a good step forward.
All right. Senator Bernie Sanders, great to have you with us on the Ed Show tonight. Thanks so much. Remember to answer tonight's question there at the bottom of the screen. Share your thoughts with us on Twitter and at Ed Show and on Facebook.